did. Oh man, that would happen. That would happen when I press record.
Yeah, that's me forgetting to pay my credit card bill. They're calling me.
Dang.
All good, all good. All right, fellas, welcome to Real Talk Underground. It's so dope to have you guys on the show. Breaking in a Sequence is in the house. This is actually round 2 for David. It's been a couple years, but it's always a pleasure having you on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So let's get right into this. I want to set the stage for our listeners to get an idea of the band's timeline. So take me back to the origins if we can for a moment. So this band rose from the ashes of what remained from the previous project known as Core 10. You guys did a complete 180 and bounced back from that breakup to give birth to what is now Breaking in a Sequence. So tell me about that. What was the worldwide search for the singer, and were there any roadblocks working against you guys while forming the band?
Basically, we needed to find one who could actually sing as opposed to not singing.
That's fair.
Going back to your reference of the other band we're not going to talk about.
Yeah.
No, that's not the point. I just wanted to know what the process was like for finding Richard and if you guys encountered any roadblocks during that time.
We were driving up Beach Boulevard. He was next to a park with his hand raised. With a cardboard sign saying, "I can sing."
We'll see.
I was spinning a sign. I was spinning the sign. You know, like how they do that.
No, I think like you were talking about, Robbie. I mean, we Chris, I, and David, from playing in the previous project, you know, we just wanted to continue playing together. We liked what we did together, and we wanted to keep moving forward.
Good.
And so we just we wrote some songs with some basic, tracks, and we put out a press release, and we got like 200 something submissions from all over the world, and Rich was one of them. And we had some people fly in from Germany. We had some people that came in from
no shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
We did. And
Manuel, he's up there in a band called Borderfly.
Yeah, Manuel Demon, and great guy, great voice. But we just kind of dwindled everything down, and we actually found Rich on a revisit and sent him out some tracks before we were making some last minute decisions. And he sent some stuff back, and it was golden. And then we asked him to come down, sent him some more tracks. Oh yeah. And but I think originally when Rich sent his tracks back, he basically took the songs with our structure and chopped it all up. And
yeah, I remember talking to you guys about that. That was interesting that he had the initiative to get the song and fucking just totally make it, rearranged and then sent that in as his audition. I mean, that's pretty forward, I'd say.
Yeah, and at first we were like, who the fuck does this guy think he is? You know what I mean? Chopping up our shit. But after listening to it for a week or two, we realized that was something that we want in the band. We want somebody that has a vision and has his own input.
Right, because anybody can just take direction, right, and just be like, okay, sure, you want it sung this way, I'll sing it that way. But I mean, Richard sounds like he said, yeah, maybe we should try this, or keep an open mind. It sounds like.
I didn't even say maybe. I was just like, hey, check it out.
We still do it 3 years later.
He's like, this is my house.
For like a minute, we let our egos take over, thinking, what is this guy doing chopping up our music? And it took like maybe a day or two of listening to it, and we all looked at each other and went, this guy just made the song 100% better,
right?
Chopped it appropriately for vocals, so what the hell are we talking about? Getting really ego shit.
Good on you guys for that decision, man. That was smart. And Richard, so it sounds like you have a pretty good sense of songwriting and composition. Like, did you always work on your craft as a youngster, or how did that come about? Just years of honing the craft?
It's really weird because I was honing that aspect of that skill actually for maybe like a year or two before all of this.
Interesting.
Because I was doing music for fun, like literally in my bedroom for fun. So I would go on I'd go on Craigslist and find bands looking for singers.
Okay.
And they would post their music. So I'd take their music and I was like, I listened to it. I'm like, I don't like this riff. So I'm going to learn how to cut this riff out and reconstruct the song. So I did that with I want to say, I don't know, maybe 24 songs from different bands.
And how did they take it? Did they receive it the same way Bias did, Breaking Into Sequence did, or how did that look?
Exactly. Yeah. People didn't respond. But I wasn't doing it to join a band. I was doing it for fun, literally for fun. Hey, check out my take on your song. And one band said, hey man, it sounds cool. You definitely got talent, but we're going to go a different way. And I'm like, cool. Okay. I wasn't trying to be
no hard
singer.
Feelings. Right on, dude.
But what about with us?
Yeah. So with these guys, they wanted me to come down after I sent the initial track over to them, which was Hesitation, by the way. Right.
Oh, and my favorite song.
That's it. Oh, cool. Yeah. So after I sent that, they're like, hey, why don't you come down? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I really want to join a band. I didn't really do it to join a band. I did it just to do a song with David Silveria.
Okay. That was actually one of my questions.
Yeah, I was doing the same thing that I was doing to the Craigslist bands, right?
Right.
I just wanted to do it and just for fun.
Yeah.
And then my wife was like, go do it. What are you doing? You should go do this. You shouldn't second guess it. It's David Silveria, one of your idols growing up, and you're not going to go do it. Go do it. You've been doing music for all of these Craigslist bands, all these strangers for the last 2 years. It's obvious that this is your passion. So go do it. So then I told the guys I'd come down, and I came down and it was super awkward at first. Just sitting in this room with everyone. There's fluorescent neon lights in here. It's super sterile. And then they put my mic stand right in front of David's kit. When I was singing, I was probably spitting all over it.
That was a part of the psyching out portion of the audition, I would say. That's how you weed out the guys who can't handle, egos or whatever you want to call it. If they're able to just be like, look, it's not David Silveria, it's just my bandmate or future bandmate. I'm going to sing in front of him, And if you can handle that, then you pass the test. And it sounds like that's what you did.
Yeah, it was actually easier than that because when I first sat down in this room, we were kind of having chit chat, little small talk, and it was kind of like, oh, cool, whatever. Yeah. And we're like, let's just play. The second we started playing, everything just clicked together. I was like, oh, I've done this a million times. Easy.
Oh, sweet.
I already recorded this. Cool. And we all clicked that way instantaneously. It wasn't like, oh, hold on, we got to work this out. No, it was just like that.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. Now, I want to quickly talk about the name. Breaking in a Sequence. So before we get into the nitty-gritty, what does breaking in a sequence mean to you guys? Are we talking about American fighter jets here, or what's going on?
That's exactly what I was thinking. I mean, when I thought of the name, I was like, man, fighter jets. Let's just break them up. No, breaking into a sequence can mean whatever you want it to mean.
Okay.
For us, it's breaking back into this music industry, right, with our music because, let's face it, rock is dead, right?
There's still a market for it, dude. In fact, I would even say it's kind of...
rock is dying. Okay, you go to the award shows, you watch those award shows, they put rock on the untelevised portion of it. There's no kids out there growing up going, man, I want to be in a rock band, practicing and honing their craft like they were when I was a kid.
That's true.
Right? So rock is dead. So we need to try to break back into this sequence and make something again. You know what I mean? All rock music, in my opinion, has become robot music because everyone's gridded. Their drums are gridded. Everyone's using auto-tune to make their voice perfect. What happened to the humanity in music? Yep. You know what I mean? Yeah, and that's what we want to bring back.
That was a great answer. I love that.
Well, thanks for sending it to me before so I could research this stuff.
I did not do that, actually.
I know. I'm just playing.
He's fucking around. That's Richard for you. Now, in terms of the band of the timeline, so back to the timeline. So around October 2018, you guys officially formed with Richard now chosen as the vocalist, and just 3 months later, you guys drop your first single, "Pity," online, and that shit, like, pretty quickly reaches, what is it, like 23 on the Billboard charts indicator or something. That's pretty impressive, man.
It was at one time.
So,
Yeah,
so tell me about that early success. You guys obviously were pretty well-oiled machine. Like, I mean, like the rest of the band, and Richard, you had been doing this for a while as well before with other bands. So tell me about that early success with Pity and the reception that you guys got from, like, the fans.
Well, I think that when we put out that first single, we were actually debating between Pity and Change Your Mind. Because when we first started this whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
we wanted to be a rock band. So hence you have Hesitation and you have Change Your Mind, which are rock songs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we wrote, then we started getting into the heavier side of things, and David started playing harder, and we just started morphing into a different band, into the hard rock genre. So I think that there was some anticipation out there from the fan base that was the fan base from the previous project.
Yeah, because eyes are always on
there.
David. Like, the eyes are always
Yeah.
on this guy. Like, what's his fucking next move? I mean, and for better or for worse, that shit can either eat you alive, or you can use that momentum to start something new, and then fucking just totally, like, upset the fucking people's expectations. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of shit online, all this stuff, about, like, oh, it's not what it used to be, yada yada yada. But I feel like with bias,
When we release our newer music we're making, it's going to blow minds.
Yes.
Notched it up these 3
Yeah,
steps.
so we're in like our third phase of how we've evolved, and it's way above and beyond.
But we're not there. We're not at that point yet. Going back to that first release, I mean, people were expecting us to be crap. People fucking hated us before.
wow,
they even
before anything
heard
hit.
anything.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
And how did that
You know,
make you
so-
guys feel, by the way? Because, I mean, you guys have all read the shit that's online, and it's pretty brutal.
Well, I had to go cry for at least a few days in a closet. No, we don't give a fuck.
That's
I mean,
good. That's good.
the whole point of this whole thing is to have fun, right? If we're not having fun, like, and you've hung out with us, you've actually come here and hung out with us, like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
like to have fun. We like to laugh. We like to have some drinks, whatever. If it's not fun, then we're not going to fucking do it, right?
Good.
So
That's
we're
right.
not going to go out there and go, oh my God, Joe Smith said that. Why the fuck are these guys doing this? Well, fuck you, Joe Smith.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Like, what does Joe Smith's fucking opinion have to do with us? Not a goddamn fucking thing.
And chances are he's just some dude hiding behind, an avatar, and just, whatever. A lot of these people tend to. I mean, you said it best, Richard. I just watched the behind the scenes for your guys' song, Anything But Right, and you said it best about how, like, well, I want to see them do it. You know what I mean? Because, like, people, and quite often it's the critics, they never put themselves in the person who they're shit talking's shoes. Like, do these guys show up to fucking rehearsal on weekends? Do they fucking go to shows that get canceled? Do they have to deal with all these hits? No. And then we're not even talking about the creative process yet, and that's a whole nother beast. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
All these guys out there that, like Dave would say, or Rich would say, that would be getting in the fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they were in the fire or got the opportunities that Chris or I did when somebody called us up and said, hey, do you want to play in a project with David Silveria? They would have done the same thing that we did. And we came in, we did our job, we established a relationship. I got a new brother with one of my icons that I grew up with,
Right.
that I loved fucking, I'd listen to, and I'd fucking go through all kinds of fucking emotional shit when I was growing up and fucking listening to and inspiring me to play music and do whatever. And I got to get into a room and play music with him. And then we knew that wasn't going to work out, and we knew that we still wanted to play together, and we knew that we still liked creating together, and we wanted to do something positive. And any one of these fools out there that want to sit there and criticize or think that they're going to, if they were in our shoes,
right,
guaranteed they would have done the same thing.
Well, not exactly the same, because there are different variables, basically control different outcomes, right? And it is a godsend that this group of guys got together, because we have that chemistry with each other,
for sure,
that mutual respect with each other, right?
I agree.
We don't let bullshit get in the way. When we do have bullshit get in the way, what do? We fucking talk it out like fucking grown men, and we fucking resolve it, right?
That's awesome, man.
So like, if they were in our shoes, they'd still fuck it up.
Well said, Richard. Well fucking said, man. So, but going back to you guys' music though. So Richard, your vocal range, bro, it's on point. You combine growling, melody. So how do you approach the songwriting process, and what are some of the vocalists that inspire you? Like, what exactly? Like, tell me, man. I want to hear it.
Tell you right now. How do I approach songs? I generally try to take the song and I listen to it as much as I possibly can. And I'm talking like 200 to 400 times instrumentally. I'll listen to it, and then melodies will pop into my head. Like out of thin air, melodies will pop in my head. So I'll listen to it, and all of a sudden I'll just hear vocal lines through the whole thing. And so I'll take those vocal lines that I hear, and I'll start doing syllable counts on them, right? Just to figure out how many syllables
He's getting mathematical.
No, but this is what I do. This is my method, right? And then I sit down and I start writing words, and the words have to fit within these syllable counts.
Sure.
And they have to make sense, right?
Right.
Like I'm not gonna be like, put two sentences together that don't that don't mean anything. They have to mean something to me to be able to sing about it, right?
Okay, so yeah. But
another thing that I do try to do is I try to nullify some of the heaviness in the guitars. Like, if you listen to the songs instrumentally, they're pretty heavy.
Yes, they are.
They're actually pretty heavy. But what I do is I try to nullify them a little bit with melody, so that you get those people who enjoy melody, who don't necessarily listen to this type of music, bobbing their head and going, wow, I really like that melody, or singing the song, even though, they don't normally listen to hard rock or anything like that. And you get those people who come up to you and they'll say, I really don't ever listen to this style of music, but I really like you guys. Well, hey, subconsciously, I put a fucking melody line in your head, and you're listening to fucking hard rock now.
Exactly. That's brilliant, dude. That's fucking brilliant.
But it's not by design. It's not by design. It's just how I view music. As you asked, my influences. I mean, I was influenced by Mike Patton. I was influenced by JD, James Hetfield, Maynard, Scott Weiland, Lane Staley.
How about Howard Jones? I hear some Howard Jones in your voice.
I don't even know who that is.
Killswitch.
Killswitch, and he's
no.
What's a new guy?
I don't listen to that.
Light the Torch.
Light the Torch.
I haven't heard it, but I'll listen to it.
That's who your voice reminds me of. I'd say he's probably the closest thing that I can think of when I think of your melodies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I need to listen to him.
Definitely, man. Tonight, go hear some fucking Killswitch.
Who are you?
I hear some people saying Seven does too.
Right on. Chester.
Oh yeah, and I forgot Chester is one of my major influences too.
Chester Bennington, rest in peace, man. So, okay, we live in the era of DIY, guys. I mean, you can literally, at this point, you guys can make a fucking record in your living room if you wanted. So, what are the opinions and thoughts from breaking in a sequence in regards to the new music industry compared to, say, 20 years ago? And how important are things like management companies and record labels for you guys?
I don't think record labels are nearly as important as they were back in the 90s. Managers, of course, everyone needs a manager, but I mean, basically, you can record your own music in whatever room you want, and then you mix it wherever you want. And as long as you get on digital radio, and terrestrial radio. I mean, record labels are almost obsolete.
So you guys really aren't after a deal right now. You kind of just, we own our masters and we want to keep full creative control over what's going on, or how does that look?
If it were a really good deal, like including a lot of tour support, we would.
Yeah, those kind of don't exist anymore. That 360 deal, put you on a tour and put a bunch of money behind you, man. Those are kind of like done.
No 360.
Yeah, I mean, we've like I said, right before 2020, we had record labels, management, and everybody coming out to our show and doing stuff, and a lot of things, even just with the new record industry of what it was, right? Just in the last year, it's already changed, right?
Yeah.
Everything's been pushed back. None of these people have made any money in a year. None of these things nobody has any money that they want to put out into newer bands or newer music. They already have the people that are on the team and on the roster that are already bringing in money that if they have money to spend, they're going to spend on. So, with the DIY is just making sure that, we have good management and we're putting out a good product and stuff, but self-supporting, there's strength in numbers, right? And it's being, having good people and good bands and good management and good people in the industry that you can trust, and whether it be in radio, streaming, social media, doing all those things is where I think most bands are focusing.
Yeah, and then speaking of streaming services like Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, how do you guys feel about their usefulness for an artist to get known? And do you think artists are being paid fairly on these platforms?
Not even close. As far as being paid fairly, fuck no. And but they're necessary to have successful,
especially when you can't tour.
Yeah, especially that. But I mean, we need all the radio stations, even it is streaming, but they pay like shit. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's depending on what platform you're on, they all pay a little bit differently. And we've got some kind of spreadsheet somewhere. I'm sure Rich has put together of which ones are giving us better ones and not. But I mean, we
what are you talking about?
And we still have not split the $11 we have in our account.
That's just going to grow.
We're saving it.
So then, realistically, fellas, where does the money come from, if there's any money at all in this shit?
Touring and merch. Merch, yes. That's
okay.
What we're gonna make.
But are you guys breaking even, or how does that look?
We're actually breaking in a sequence.
Lame joke.
Yes, we are making some money on tour. But we have to reinvest it to record these new phase 3 songs.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's marketing.
Which is fine.
There's marketing costs. Like, there's lots of costs that people don't think about.
No, there's a shit ton of costs, dude. Yeah. It's more of an investment than it is a return, I would say.
Exactly. And going back to your DIY stuff, you can record anywhere. You can record in your living room or whatever, but you got to have a producer, right? Yeah. So record in your producer's bedroom or living room. Don't do it yourself.
A good producer that you trust his opinion.
Right. So because doing it yourself, you're too involved in it to really do it yourself. You know what I mean? And you need that outsider perspective to give you that input,
Because 100%. Rich lives so far away. Because he lives so far away, we rehearse here a couple days a week, and he comes on Saturdays. But when we write songs here, we send him the tracks, and he hears it for the first time with fresh ears, and it makes sense to him. That's why he's able to chop it up and make chorus, verse, whatever, pre-verse, whatever.
Yeah.
Because by the time sometimes we're done, our ears and our brains are so shot, we're like playing like stupid shit. And Rich hears it and goes, "Oh, they're fucking done, chop."
Yeah.
So it actually works out in our favor.
I see. Okay.
But even after he's laid his ears on it and done the editing and the singing, it's still good to have a producer come in who really hasn't heard it all and give his fresh ears.
Now, and I say, nope. No, just joking.
No, absolutely, David. That's a great point. I feel like that's a must before you put out any record that you want to be proud of, right? You want to make sure that it's gone through every possible filter. Now, I want to get a little serious with you guys. How important is mental health to the band?
What is that?
In what sense?
What exactly does that mean?
How important is mental health to the band? And what do you guys do to decompress from all the stress that goes into being such hardworking musicians?
There's no stress in this. What are you talking about? When we
Well-
keep it fun, it's not. There's no stress.
I
There
like
is
marijuana.
there's a degree of stress, man. Come on. It's not all fun and games.
We all deal with stuff differently.
Yeah.
We've had our fair share of stress and things. You know,
But in
And-
hindsight, maybe at the time we thought it was stressful, but in hindsight, it always just works out.
Or maybe the band is maybe the band is how you guys you know,
Pretty much.
decompress.
it is for me. I mean,
I decompress here.
I've been I've been in recovery for a while, so I mean I understand where you're coming from with mental health and doing
Yeah.
all that stuff. So I mean I've been in recovery for 13 years. This time around, for me, this is my outlet. This
Right.
is my
Right.
this is my my Prozac. You know what I mean? I get in here and I get to relieve my stress, my tension, my anger, and do all that stuff. When I'm not playing music, I'm not playing shows.
Got you.
I get up on a whole other level, and
Got you.
and I do things to stay sober and keep my mental health in line to where these guys still like me. But but mental health is super important.
Yeah, and that's gotta be tough, Joe. You know, I mean, first of all, kudos to you for being sober, bro. You know, that takes a lot of willpower. And you're in a industry where you're just surrounded by, partying and fun and drinking, and it's easy to fall into that shit. But
Don't forget the
I'm
pictures.
glad that at the very least the band is, medicine for you.
Yeah, no, I mean, this music's my drug. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and being able to do this kind of stuff, this is the kind of shit I get high on now. I'm a whole different kind of person. I can trust and believe that when I'm not sober.
Amen, dude.
I get to do that because I am.
Amen, dude. Amen. Well, kudos to you guys. And any future plans? So what does the future look like for Breaking in a Sequence? Lollapalooza, festivals, full-length LPs? What's going on?
I think
Waiting for the tour market to open up, and hopefully get on maybe an opening slot for maybe a theater-sized tour.
That's to start. Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is right now, everything that's coming out is all being rescheduled from last year.
So we're trying not to let another year go by before we can do shows.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can find maybe a
Something.
preset tour, or maybe the first band has dropped out and we can jump in.
Okay.
We are doing a little co-light headlining thing in October. Was it 6
Mhm.
dates?
6 or 7.
Yeah, just on the West Coast.
We're gonna do. I think starting October 2nd and 3rd, we're playing like San Diego, California, and then we're going to Arizona. And then towards the end of the month, we're going out. It's with Sons on Fire and Mendenhall Experiment, and we're going to be hitting Salt Lake City, Denver, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we're going to do a hometown show here in Costa Mesa. So we're excited to get out and play with that.
hold up. Let's tell people what they want to hear. Our next focus is EP2.
Tell me about
So-
that. When's that happening?
Well, we're going to try to get it out in this third quarter. If we
Mhm.
can't get it out in the third quarter, then it's going to be first quarter of 2022. But
Okay.
I'm really pushing for third quarter because I want to get into the studio in the first quarter of 2022 and start tracking EP3, which is phase 3 stuff.
And you guys are really excited about that one, it sounds like. That's like your bread and butter.
Yeah.
Yes.
The new heavy shit.
It's night and day.
Yeah, it's a lot more experimental compared to what you've heard. What
Okay.
you've heard is more just straightforward, from EP1.
Mhm.
EP1's, straightforward.
Mhm.
EP2 is a little bit heavier, and then EP3 is experimental, heavier, in your face, kick you in the nuts, more melodic.
Yeah, hooky
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm looking forward to it. I hope I get the first copy.
2 years.
I'll send it to you.
We'll make sure we get it to you.
Yeah, man. You guys actually are getting a German press. I was actually online earlier, and they've covered pretty much all of your releases. I was like, oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
And if you
They haven't
guys,
called us Nazis, have they?
what?
They haven't called us Nazis, have they?
No, why would they do that?
No.
Thank God.
Come on,
Joe
man.
went through a little period,
Yes.
I'm kidding, totally kidding.
All good, all good, all good, all good.
What's
If
what's
I-
the name? What's the name?
And this
What's
is the
the name
last
of
time
them
they're
so
going
we
to
can
do
give
it.
them some thanks and some props?
Absolutely, Joe. I'm gonna find the articles. I'm gonna send them to you. I'm gonna send them all to you.
We're
Yeah.
close to my
and thank them.
Yeah.
Send them some burnt tips.
Hey, fellas, it's been a pleasure, man. If I missed anything, please, by all means, plug whatever you got to plug, man, because I've gone over all my questions that I could think of. But if there's anything else you guys want to say, any advice you have, maybe for artists who want to be in the same, place as you guys, whatever you want to share.
I want to say follow us on all social media at Bias Band OC. I want to say if you have Apple Music or Spotify, subscribe to us or whatever. Not subscribe. What is it? Follow?
Follow.
Subscribe. Follow or subscribe.
I think they're interchangeable at this point.
Yeah. So add us to playlists. Go to YouTube. Like our videos. Subscribe there. And then go to biasofficial.com and get your merch.
Yeah, we have t-shirts, sweatshirts.
Fuck yeah.
There'll be more stuff added.
Banana hammocks.
And for new musicians, man, like, you're going to try stuff and you're going to fail. You're going to try stuff and you're going to fail. And at some point, like, if you would have asked me 5 years ago, would I be doing what I'm doing right now in this band? Like, I would have told you were fucking crazy. Like, just, don't give up, follow your passion, and keep playing. Do what you enjoy doing,
Yeah, you're not going to be good right when you start off.
No, of course not.
Don't be afraid to sound or look stupid.
Yeah,
that's how you learn.
We've all played the fool. In fact, that actually is a good thing because then you got people saying, "Oh man, did you see how dumb that guy looked?" But then that means that they're at least talking about you, right?
Yeah, there you go, bringing up that other band again.
Oh.
That's why.
What's that, Dave?
That's why I threw my
I said, here you go, bringing up that old band again.
No.
It looks like thank you.
That's why I throw out my cheetah spandex.
Well, it's been a pleasure, guys. Keep pursuing the art, man. I love the music. It sounds really good. I can't wait for EP3. So definitely send it my way when it's ready. And dude, love you guys,
man.
Send
you EP2 too, man.
So you just want EP3, right? No EP2. All right, so you just decided for everyone.
EP2.
No more EP2.
EP2's on Spotify. I got it on my phone.
No.
Is it not?
It's not released yet.
We're trying to
It's
set
the
up
follow-up to Acronym.
Yeah, we're trying to set up a.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Acronym is EP. I thought Acronym was
What?
EP2.
Nope.
It's like the fucking
That's
Star
EP1.
Wars saga, bro. I don't know where. So
Well,
I don't.
that would be. Then we would have started with 4 and
Yeah.
then 5, 6. All right. Whoa.
Right on. Okay, then EP. I'm waiting for EP2 then.
Yes,
Okay.
you're waiting for Empire Strikes Back.
I think those are
Empire
If you're
Strikes
waiting
Back.
if you're waiting for phase 3, it's going to be a minute. I'm just letting you know.
But thanks for sticking with us on the music release. And everything has to be timed correctly. And I know everybody wants to hear it. So
I've been
it's
waiting
coming
for
sooner
Twine
than
for
later.
like 2 years, bro. I've been waiting for Twine for like 2 years. That
And
was
guess
my
what
shit.
the title? Guess what the
It's-
first track
it's
on our
coming,
new
man.
album is?
It's coming.
Is it
Not
that?
Twine. I mean, I'm just kidding. It's Twine.
I love that song,
coming.
man. I love that song.
Thank you.
Breaking in a
So
sequence.
you've already heard all the EP2 stuff.
EP2.
We heard it live.
If you know,
Most of them.
if you know
Here.
Twine and what's not on Acronym, you've heard.
When I was in the studio, I remember that whiteboard behind you guys had all the tracks, and there was like 12 of them on there or some shit. There was a
I
grip.
think we're on song 23
So
now.
most of those will be coming out along with Twine on
EP2.
EP2.
And when though? When did I miss that? When's this happening?
Next month.
We're shooting for next month, but
We're hopefully
if,
end of September, early October, if we can make it happen.
You guys got to be more vague. It's by third quarter.
I said,
if not
I
third
told him
quarter,
yesterday,
first
but,
quarter 2022.
Well, let's work together and let's
That's the canned answer.
let's build that momentum, dude. Let's build that momentum. Let's fucking tease the fuck out of these songs so that the people can be foaming at the mouth for breaking in the sequence.
That's what I've been saying.
We're trying.
Tease them, it's tease them.
Right?
Yep.
That's what they want to hear.
Yep.
Breaking in a
All right,
sequence.
man.
Thank you guys so much, man. Much
Thanks,
love
buddy.
and
Thank
respect. Thank you for supporting the
Later,
show.
Robbie.
And I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.
Yep.